Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Hall. You may call me Dr. Kennard. This is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. We're going to talk about the curious case of a flat earther, a COVID denier, who is definitely not dead because of what they called CONVID, because COVID is a conspiracy theory and COVID really doesn't exist. At least this is what this gentleman right here said while he was alive, of course. Yeah. Mac Parhar. I'm going to pronounce his last name like that. I'm sorry if I didn't get it right. You can see in the background there that lovely sign, COVID-19 is fake. Uh, there are a few people on the Venn diagram, everyone, who are Joe Rogan fans and Gwyneth Paltrow fans, and I'm going to guess Mac was right there in the middle because he was really into his health. He was real. Maybe he's more Gwyneth Paltrow than Joe Rogan. I don't know. But he had a hot yoga studio. He attributed his not feeling well, maybe not to sweating enough. Well, he's dead. He is dead. Oh, let's go right through. From Heaven Meta, the friendly atheist. COVID denying flat earther dies of something that sounds exactly like COVID. Exactly like COVID? Exactly like COVID. Okay, so this guy, Mac, he's been causing trouble for quite a while. He's in British Columbia, Canada. Sorry, Canada, about this particular person causing havoc in British Columbia. The man who CBC News described as a vocal member of both the flat earth conspiracy community and the anti-mask community. Microphone. We're going to go through the basics again. Do we have to go through the basics? We always have to go through the basics because it's important to go over the fact that people who believe in one conspiracy theory have a tendency to believe in another conspiracy theory, even if those two conspiracy theories contradict each other. Is that true? That's true. So, flat earther as well as a COVID denier. Next panel. Parhar sued the British Columbian government, claiming they kidnapped him and committed an act of terrorism against him by putting him behind bars for violating local COVID restrictions. Thankfully, a judge tossed out the case, calling it embarrassing and an abuse of process. Beyond that, Parhar and his business license suspended, had his business license suspended for not following COVID protocols. He told students in his hot yoga classes that yoga would boost their immune system and kill off the virus, which of course is a lie. He later used that meeting space to host COVID deniers. And yes, he is a flat earther after attending a conference in the US for flat earthers from around the globe. You see what Heathen did that? That's good writing. He returned to Canada and ignored the necessary 2-week quarantine. He bragged about not wearing a mask on the plane. What a D-bag, right? He just seemed to be intent on spreading the virus and these idiotic ideas about the flat earth too. Okay, from COVID it seems though. Okay, so the man's dead. He's 49 years old. He's dead. It hasn't been officially verified that he has died from COVID, though this man was messaging out. He had flu-like symptoms, that he was stocking up on pills, vitamins, Advil, and what did he take the horse dewormer too? Microphone. He took the horse dewormer that no good medical study has shown to do anything positive against COVID-19, right? But he took ivermectin. So maybe he is a bit of a fan of Joe Rogan too. Maybe I'm suspecting. Joe Rogan, did he help kill this dude for spreading misinformation? Wow, that's harsh, microphone, but I guess I'm with you on that one. Okay. New Westminster Police confirmed that they were called to help paramedics at a home in Sapperton neighborhood Thursday morning, but arrived to find Parhar deceased. In a recent live stream video, he reported feeling ill with a variety of symptoms, including fatigue, chills, and a cough, which he said was not CONVID. Now, CONVID, everyone, it's a conspiracy right? It's con, and it's COVID. See, that's genius imagination on his part. It's not CONVID because CONVID doesn't exist. In a video posted Wednesday, Parhar said he was feeling somewhat better and had recently taken ivermectin, an anti-parasitic drug widely touted in the anti-vaccine community, but which Canadian and U.S. health officials have warned against using because it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work against COVID-19. It works for other things, but it doesn't work against COVID-19. I'm going to check out the chat before going on to the next news story. Are we going to talk about cows? Are we going to talk about farting and burping cows? Are we going to talk about a way to help dodge or to ameliorate, to make the effects of global climate less? Yeah, there's something about cows. There's something about burping. There's something about seaweed. We're going to be covering that story soon, everyone. But I want to check out the chat and see how everyone's doing. Oh, remember Sammy Jenkins. That's right. The clock changes, right? Happened on Sunday. So now the show is 11 p.m. to midnight. It's now 11 p.m. That's great in Australia. There was an interesting article in The Economist last week about Australia, because Sam lives in Australia, about how Australia is absolutely not helping, hindering, not even just making the situation worse in terms of global climate change with their addiction to coal, exporting coal, burning coal. What's up, Tobin? Glad to see you here. Oh, John Hudson, what do you call a cat on your auto car pet? Very interesting. Very interesting. What's up, Big Zebra? Glad to see you here this morning. I hope everyone's weekend was fine. I discovered that I really don't like cider. We went cidering, went to a couple of apple orchards. I discovered two things, and I don't want to be maudlin here. I don't want to be effusively sentimental, but I discovered I really dislike hard cider, and that I love my girlfriend deeply because I still enjoyed the trip because I got to spend time with her. Man, that's enough for the emotions here. That's not what this show is about. What's up, Simply Secular Dave? Dave sent me a video of some people, some folks in Canada who were taping a oncoming tornado. So they had their phone out, and it's like, hey, look at the tornado coming up. Not the best idea. If a tornado's coming towards you, it's, being outside and filming it, not the best idea. Blazing. What's up, Americats? What's up? Let's see. I think I caught everyone. Jess M, glad to see that you're here this morning. A lot of people in the chat. Good to see you. Dr. Cyrus. And yes. Canada, you could have a bumpy flat Earth, but it isn't flat Earth. And Canada is bumpy. I've seen the topographical maps. Oh, really? Simply Secular Dave. So the flat earther and COVID denier happen to be where you live, Dave. Interesting. Wait, what's up? Rage. Didn't see that you're here. Good to see that you're here, Rage. All right, did I get everyone? Sean? Everyone's here this morning. That's fantastic. Puke that like. I don't really know what that means or how I would do that, but you could lick the like button too. That might be a little off-putting, but if that's what you're into, I'm not here to kink shame anyone. Before we get to cows, you want to do something? What else did I do over my weekend? I made memes. If you follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, I had too much coffee. I was in the car for 2 hours going out to the orchard. So I made this. I made a bunch of cat memes. All power to the people, all tuna to the kitty. That's just one of the 3 memes I made. I think that's the funniest one, to tell you the truth. So I thought I'd share that with you. Oh, Andy, you're not even silencing your phone. Unprofessional, unacceptable, inappropriate. Let's do the halftime tummy rub show, everyone. Well, that didn't wake you up. I don't know what does. A cat screeching. It's an adorable cat, though, with a little bib around the cat. That fantastic is that. I think that's it. I thought that was good. Oh, see the girlfriend. See, now here's the thing, everyone. Right? There's I made another cat meme that says dogs are the opium of the masses. Yeah, it's closer to my heart but I think it might have been a little bit too smart for the internet, a little too smart for the room. So yeah, yeah. All right, everyone. Let's talk about cows. Let's talk about seaweed. Let's talk about methane. And let's do that. You want to do it again, Dr. Cyrus? You want to do the cat thing again? All right, we're going to do it again. We got to do some serious work here. There's still a lot of stories to cover. And one of them has to, and this is serious. We're going to talk about cow burping. Believe it or not, we have been following the story about cows burping methane, a greenhouse gas, and the global climate crisis. There's light at the end of the tunnel, or maybe there's light, maybe it's not an oncoming train, but yes. And this specifically has to do with dairy cows, though it does apply to beefy cows too that people eat. Here we go. Could feeding seaweed to cows help reduce greenhouse gas emissions? This is from New Hampshire Public Radio. I first heard about this story from Science Friday. Science Friday is, of course, a show on NPR on Fridays. They also do a podcast because a lot of the times I cannot listen to the live broadcast of Science Friday. Cows burp and fart. We've covered this issue. And they burp and fart methane gas. Methane gas, it's a greenhouse gas, and it traps more heat in our atmosphere than CO2. It turns out that feeding just a little bit of certain types of seaweed can actually reduce the amount of methane cows burp by 50%. 50%, 50%. It's exciting, everyone. Let's do this thing. Let's see. Could feeding seaweed to cows help reduce greenhouse emissions? Next panel. Using 2 grants from the USDA, scientists from the University of New Hampshire will study how including seaweed in the diet of dairy cows could reduce methane emissions. If we can find ways to reduce the amount of methane coming out of cows, we can really contribute to solutions to combat climate change, said Alex Contasta, a researcher on the project. Cows produce methane as part of their natural digestion process as the microorganisms in their stomach produce gas. They mostly emit methane through burps. So yes, are scientists measuring the amount of methane in burps? Yes, they are. The cow stomach is basically a huge fermentation vat, said Andre Brito, who leads the study with Contasta. The UN Environment Program has said reducing methane emissions is an effective way to slow climate change. Meanwhile, agriculture accounts for about 10% of greenhouse gas emissions in the US, according to the EPA. Methane is a powerful greenhouse gas, but it stays in the atmosphere for a shorter period of time than other gases like carbon dioxide. A reduction in methane could help rapidly reduce the rate of climate change in the short term. The remarkable thing about feeding cows this particular type of seaweed is that it is immediate. So with a lot of other harm reduction strategies in terms of global climate change, it takes time to see effects, right? You plant a forest, sure, it helps. But if you give this feed, if you give some of this special type of seaweed to these cows, they will immediately reduce the amount of methane that they are burping. And if and even though this is a good article, if you're a fan of Science Friday, and if you're not, then I don't know, maybe you should be. I don't want to should people here, but it was in the latest episode of Science Friday, and well worth your time to take a look, to take a listen to it. One of the ways to reduce methane is to reduce the microbial population that produces methane in the cow's stomach. And some seaweed has chemicals with antimicrobial properties, which could reduce the population of microorganisms that produce methane, Brito says. Previous research on seaweed for cows has shown promising results from Australian red seaweed. That was a story I heard about on Science Friday about Australian red seaweed, said Brito. But UNH researchers here in New Hampshire are using seaweed from the Gulf of Maine, which could produce a more sustainable solution for dairy farmers in New England. To find out what the impact of the seaweed is on gas that cows produce, scientists will use special equipment to collect the cows' burps and measure the quantity of methane in them. Riveting and exciting stuff here on the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. But this is important. This is actually something that can affect the entire planet for generations. The team will also study how seaweed could impact the animal's health and milk quality, and how it could change the nutrient profiles of their nature, which might impact soil health. We're trying to understand, is there a net benefit, has said Alec Contesta, really trying to follow the story as it moves from seaweed into the cow, through the cow, out the back end, and onto the field, and so on. Researchers will also look into the industry, taking into the account the production and distribution of seaweed, and looking how greenhouse gas emissions might look not only at the level of the cow, but at the whole level of the system. Exciting stuff. How can you not get excited about cows burping microphone? Did I sell the story enough? Did I sell it? I hope I got you excited about cows burping and seaweed, everyone. I hope I did. I don't know if I did or not. 38 comments. I'm going to check everyone out. All right. Oh, did I tell you? The girlfriend and I were doing vegan Mondays. As you know, I don't like to whip my vegetarianism out and talk about it a whole lot here on the channel. I'm a vegetarian. Been a vegetarian for a little bit over a year, but yeah. So now we're doing vegan Mondays. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes, everyone. Is it necessary to burp a cow like it was a baby? I can't. Cows are heavy creatures. And the thing is, dairy cows, did I already say this? Dairy cows create a lot more methane gas. They require a lot more feed than regular everyday cows. I guess lactation is a high calorie requiring activity. So dairy cows do create a lot more methane gas than beef cows. All right, checking out who else is in the chat here. Yes, we have started doing vegan Mondays. That means no milk. I'm a big, and this is tough for me because I really like milk. I really like milk and I really like eggs. They have helped me transition from meat to non-meat diet, but I'm going to give it my best shot, everyone. If cows are going to feed on seaweed, is there a risk of bovine drowning syndrome? Good question, bigzebra.com. I'm glad you asked that. Only if the cows have not been properly, brought up in terms of swimming. Cows are natural swimmers, aren't they? Right? Don't they have webbed hooves? I don't know. But it actually only takes a small amount, from what I heard on Science Friday, it only takes a small amount of the seaweed powder to actually limit the amount of methane in their burps. Now I'm drinking coffee with no milk. So that's good, girlfriend. That's good. All right. Did I cover? Here we go. One thing to note, there is a reduce the rate of climate change. We are no longer talking about stopping climate change. And you are so right, Blazing Wizard Pope. You are so right, because it's too late. I had this conversation last night with a couple of my friends. And 1.5 degrees Celsius. Will we be able to keep the temperature rise to that? I don't know. I don't think the smart money's on that. Not the way how things are going now. All right. We are serving vegan today, Blazing Wizard Pope. That's what we're doing. We're serving vegan breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. Last story. By the way, we're doing the after party after show at 9:30. I can only do it for 45 minutes this morning because it's been an awfully busy morning for me, and I still have to write my morning my morning satirical story for my blog, Laughing in Disbelief. So I can only do this for like 45 minutes. If you want to be on the panel, check out the link below. So this show ends at 9:25. We start up the after party after show at 9:30. Those are for people who are new here, right? There's some new people. All right, so this is the last story, and this is, oh my God, so much hope. I am shoving puppy dogs and rainbows into the butt of Monday. That's what I'm doing with all this good news. Food service has been a notoriously difficult industry to unionize. Coffee shop workers have emerged as a potential bright spot. Yes. Is there an attempt by workers at Starbucks with their 9,000 locations to unionize? Yes. Microphone says yes, there is. Because we're running down towards the end of our time, I want to show you this little. Now, is Starbucks the corporation fighting unionization? Yes, they are. Here's a shot from a worker, a Starbucks employee. Why is the president of Starbucks North America, Roseanne Williams, sweeping our floors in Buffalo? Well, that's Buffalo, New York. Our floors are fine. Clean up your anti-union campaign. Boo. Boo, anti-union campaign. Here we go, everyone. When employees at 3 Starbucks locations in Buffalo, New York, announced their intent to unionize this August, followed shortly after by 2 additional stores nearby, they had reasons for optimism, even if none of the nearly 9,000 company-owned stores nationwide are currently represented in a union. Before going public with their campaign, the employees made inroads with Workers United, a union that had helped successfully organize local coffee chains as Spot and Gimme Coffee in upstate New York well before the pandemic. Those efforts resulted in contracts that guaranteed wage increases, paid sick time, and protection against unfair firing. My God, that sounds like socialism. Elsewhere, employees at Collectivo Coffee narrowly won representation this August for roughly 400 colleagues at the Change Wisconsin and Chicago locations, following a long drawn-out campaign that workers accused management of attempting to upend. And that success came on the heels of voluntary recognition of 8-unit coffee chain Pavement in Massachusetts, woohoo, Massachusetts, which organized in June with Unite Here's New England Joint Board. I know that there are some New England people, some Boston people who are watching this. So Pavement. I'm saying that if there's a Starbucks close by, why not go to a Pavement? They're union, support union workers, right? So this is a long story. The link is in the description below. Good news overall. Starbucks is trying to fight the unionization of workers in its stores. And that's bad. That's bad for workers. That's bad for all of us, right? Unions are what helped make the states have a viable middle class, right? Okay, everyone. I have more panels, but I can't get to them all because we're running down on time. Let's do something funny. Let's do some more cats. Oh, let's do a cat at least. Oh my fictitious God, how much good news have we had this morning? We had cows lowering their impact, possibly science helping us out with methane gas coming out of cow butts and burps. And of course, coffee shops unionizing here in the States. Positive news. And, you know, there was that guy, Parhar, the hot yoga teacher who told people that COVID wasn't real, who had gotten arrested in British Columbia and Canada, who actually couldn't make his court date because he was sick. Probably more likely, smart money is on the fact that he died from COVID. That was the first story that we covered this morning. Thank you, everyone. No ads on this show. No ads, completely supported by YouTube members and patrons. I'm going to see you at 9:30, hopefully. I'm going to drop the thank you video right now.